All right.
And I'll be back on camera here really shortly.
Does the chat pop up on the StreamYard too, or is there? I don't know if I'll be able to see.
There's a lag, so it takes 30 seconds or so. We're live on Substack.
On the StreamYard too, or is there? I don't know if I'll be able to see.
All right, we've got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 seconds left.
Okay, so.
Ooh, we're getting hard already. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
oops. So yeah, I'm gonna just, because I didn't get the invite or accept it, so I'm on your side, Nero.
Okay, no worries. Hi, Nieta. We're just waiting for some people to pop in. Hello, Joe. It's nice to see everybody.
Yay.
Oh, and Robert Gilman. That's an handle. Welcome, Robin. EG.
EG, yep. Ocala, Florida. Nice.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going to go dig up the disclaimer. Did Tig come in?
No. Sweets. Hi, Sweets.
Okay. Where did I put it?
Smash those hearts, y'all, in the chat.
Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and give the disclaimer now.
Okay.
I'm stuttering. And then we can, do whatever, start.
Hey, Beth.
I think that I can do it like so people can read along. All right. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay.
I can even just.
Do you want to read
it? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, everyone in the chat. Welcome to Mind Haven, which is a safe space to discuss mental health and lived experience by non-professionals. If you are in crisis, please call or text 988. For service members and veterans, 838-255. For LGBTQ+, you can visit the website for the Trevor Project. Please do not DM any hosts or participants. And thank you and enjoy the show.
All right.
Today we are welcoming Jack back. He's been a previous guest on our show. Today we're going to do part 2 of intent versus impact. So with that, we're going to give the floor to Jack.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me back on. I'm happy to join to have this conversation with y'all about what we could do to help protect our mental health in this moment and how we could better provide positive impact within our community. So I'd like to give an example about an impact versus intent situation. When we're in community with others, either online or in person, and something doesn't feel right, either someone says something uncouth or it's not quite what you expect it to be, that impact is better used as a place to learn and grow from, or like that uncomfy feeling, so that we can provide more within our community. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of hogwash. I'm a little nervous. Hello to everyone. But I mean to say that if we care about trans rights, it's a better use of our time to go out and visit our local LGBTQIA care center and volunteer our time to help trans youth than it is to be online, probably talking to robots half the time, mm-hmm. arguing and wasting our energy. So it's, again, just that shift in our thinking of what impact do I want to have? What's the intent behind it, right? Mm-hmm. The intent might be to educate, but are we really educating, or are we just getting frustrated beyond all belief? online and not actually helping our community.
Right.
Hi, Tig.
So
sorry I'm late.
You're good.
I'd like us to talk about some examples of maybe like how we've felt what has been classified as a moral injury that we are collectively facing as Americans, as people who are conscious of what is happening, how that impacts our psyche, and what we can do to help create the change that we want to see and that we need to see in the world so that we can get better, because we're all hurting right now under this current system that we're living under. So there are ways to do better. And we know that there are, because communities like ours, like the queer community, like the disabled community, like the Black and Indigenous community of this country, have been doing the work within our own private communities for decades. What we need to do now is go do it together. We need to break out of our only the queer people help the LGBTQIA plus center, only BIPOC folks help BIPOC centers, only women help women. That's not enough.
No.
We need to like just find what's local to us. Maybe it's not our exact marginalized community, but it is a marginalized community and we are a marginalized people. And we need to just, if we're looking for something to do on a Friday night, volunteering is a very cost-effective way to kill some time. And these centers that already exist, there are Planned Parenthoods in local neighborhoods, right? There are plenty of areas to volunteer in. You can go online, find your local DSA chapter or your local Working Families chapter, because the people that are already joined in on the DSA movement and on the Working Families movement have already been doing the work, and they've just like come together to help each other out so that we're not all siloed anymore.
Yes.
And I think we just need to focus a bit more on doing that within our local community where we can. And that will help protect our mental health, because we cannot physically comprehend everything going on in the world. And as we do that, as we start volunteering, we're not spending our dollars frivolously buying bullshit just because there's nothing else to do. And then those tax dollars go to fund the war machine, right? Instead, we're spending that money in a local business within our city where we're buying seeds and planting gardens and teaching the younger generation how to plant seeds and how to garden and how to live in love and not in fear. Because we can't just keep, we can't keep throwing fists and hoping that things get better. At some point, we have to like extend hands and be like, you're right. All of the bullshit that you've ever noticed is true. And there are tons of us that have been trying to make it better, but we're working within a system that is broken. And we need to find the people that recognize that have that have always recognized that have for decades been putting in the work and are now brave enough to run for office and try to get into the system to fix it. And while they're trying to do that, there needs to be a community behind them so that the constituent services for this person that we're asking to be our voice is being built by the people that live there, so they're holding the person that's there accountable. Because that's why everyone loves AOC. That's why Mamdani's doing so well, because they're actually setting up the services through the volunteers that have already existed within New York City, that have already been setting up food pantries and, you know, women and children shelters that are not state run, that are like ones that like, you know, is a safe space because, you know, because there's a rainbow on the door and it's not just for show, because it's there year round.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to like, as a collective, I think like take a deep breath and realize like, what are we doing in this moment?
Yeah.
And are we just yelling at the choir that's singing the same song already? Or are we now going out to people that haven't heard it, or and like physically like doing it? So Sushi, you told me about some really cool spaces in your area, and I'm really bad at reading the chat at the same time. So if
No, you're
someone has
good.
something to
We're
say,
monitoring on our end.
yeah, feel free to like put a hand up and let me know to read out, because I know my ADHD is really bad. I had to like pull the chat away or else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like what Darvid's saying. Volunteering not only helps others, but it is very satisfying too. Finding orgs and people is hard at first, but emotionally, but then relieves depression. Absolutely, Darvid. I shared this with Jack pre-show. I'm a volunteer in the winter. It goes year round, but my schedule won't allow me to do it in the summer. But I volunteer for a nonprofit organization called Ogden Valley Adaptive Sports. And on the weekends in the winter, I go up to a local ski resort and I volunteer on lessons to help these people enjoy the snow sports. And it's so wonderful. I mean, personally, it's rewarding. And then just to see the joy on these people that wouldn't otherwise be able to get up and do this on their own, just the joy in their faces is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just reading through the chat. I thank you so much for talking about that. And I've done the same thing with other organizations. I did want to address before we moved on, because I don't want it to get lost. I saw that night, to me, this is about progressive versus regressive. I don't care if they're a never Trumper or leftist. I'm not sure. Um, I agree with you. This is about progressive versus regressive. It's about people that want to do better. And that's why I'm encouraging folks to go out and do the better as we can, and find the people that are doing the better, and the organizations that are like your local Planned Parenthood, your local LGBTQIA plus center. If there's not one in your area, uh, you know, talk to some friends, talk to some neighbors. Maybe there's a local queer nurse that knows a local queer doctor that might want to set something up,
Sure.
But we have to talk to each other in person and make our physical lives better, our tangible lives better as best we can, because or else we die, right? Like, it's any kid who's been in an abusive household, they know you either like find a way to work around your parent that's beating the shit out of you, or you die. So at this point, our parents are beating the shit out of us. We need to go make friends to make sure we don't die. And that's like, I think, the overarching theme. And like, you don't have to make friends with everyone. You make friends with people that keep you safe.
Yeah.
You make friends with those people who can keep you safe, and you make allies with people that are valuable enough to forgive.
Yeah. And to also have the capacity to know that not everyone grew up with the same education. Not everyone had access to learn emotional regulation, and that's not excusing abusers, because I'm the first person to block someone or cut someone. I'm a Virgo to the core. Like, I will help someone learn, and then when they show me that they're unwilling to learn, get the fuck out. And I think that's a healthy boundary to have with people, right? And you can flip it on them. If they grew up religious, it's the whole thing. Jesus told you to turn the other cheek, but I only have two, right? So, and like, sometimes we need to talk to people like where they can understand the stories that they've read. We experience the world through the books we read, through the imagination we allow ourselves to create. If someone only understands the Bible, we have to lean into it a little bit and help them see the hypocrisy, and help them drink fresh water, because they've been drinking slime their whole life. And like, if they're unwilling to put the slime down, then you walk away, right? Because like, your life is valuable too, and your energy is valuable, and we need to find the people that value shared humanity, so that we can all keep us safe and be able to make a movement that feels strong enough to go out and vote for what they want, not what they think might win. Because fuck what anyone thinks might win. What will win right now is people who are clear-eyed
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
direct with the systems that are keeping all of us in an open air prison, because it's either you work or you die. They're making it
Mm-hmm.
increasingly more difficult for disabled folks to be able to navigate the process to get the healthcare needs that they're entitled to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of them. The process is too hard for me, and I'm a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, please don't get mad at your nurses when shit goes off, because, like, half of us are disabled too, and we're just trying to make sure that you guys don't get fucked.
Right.
But we're getting fucked too. And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we need to, like, all take a deep collective breath and realize that every single marginalized group is getting abused, and every single person is within a marginalized group
Mm-hmm.
within some experience, especially if you grew up as a child who suffered trauma. Boom, there you go. Right?
Yep.
We all carry that in our soul at all times that makes
Mm-hmm.
us feel like, why don't I just give up? The world would be better off without me here. Because that's how we
Right.
felt when we were a kid, because there's no other way to process that.
Yep.
We need to be able to get outside of that abuse, that domestic abuse that we were in, and talk to friends and realize that not everyone is abused the way we are. And speaking as someone who has left the US and has been able to, like, take a deep breath, I've realized that, like, holy shit, I didn't realize the breath I was holding on to, because I thought I was doing all I could to help my community, to help everyone that was marginalized, right? I worked with BIPOC doctors and nurses to make sure that I understood diseases that were not native to me because of sheer luck of where my ancestors were from. But, like, I needed to know to, like, be able to see a sickle cell crisis before it happened, right? I
Mm-hmm.
needed to work with my neighbors to learn about their lived experience so I could
Mm-hmm.
have the empathy, because I want to be empathetic. People aren't just inherently born with empathy. It's something
Yeah.
you have to seek out. You have to seek this knowledge. You have to, like, try and be a better person. And that
Yeah.
only happens if we
Practice.
go out and talk to our neighbors. Because
Yeah.
online, I'm telling you, the online space, wherever you are, half of the people you talk to, it's a fucking bot. It's not even a real
Mm-hmm.
person. And we're all becoming like schizophrenic, like fighting with the ideas or, like, thoughts in our head of, like, people that, like, comments that we see online. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean it in,
Okay.
like, a literal to, like, it's we are walking around as if we do have a, like, it's a psyop.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean it in a way just to classify it as a, like, schizophrenia is a disease process where you have visual and auditory hallucinations, where now we're having visual and auditory hallucinations because of AI and chats in chatbots. So I just want to
Mm-hmm.
be very clear. This is not ableist language at all. It is
Mm-hmm.
just as a, so thank you, Neuro, for clocking me right away. Again, intent versus impact, right? I intended
Mm-hmm.
to, but not everyone has the knowledge of the disease process of. So the disease process of having visual and auditory hallucinations, that is something uncontrollable, right? That is schizophrenia.
Yeah.
We're being manipulated by an algorithm online through fake accounts, through fake videos,
Mm-hmm.
to excuse the reality that we see, the money that we see being spent in a military industrial complex selling bombs to other countries, perpetuating genocide globally, both in the Middle East, in South America, all over the world, within our own neighborhoods, as we're taking away rights from US citizens, as our veterans are homeless and without health care. And, you know, it's a very uh, precarious time that we're in as a people. And we do need to kind of recognize that the time is now, and we're living in, like, whatever, when we were reading history books on, like, what would we have done to help our neighbor who was marginalized, right? Pick whatever story you like to hear, whatever book you like to hear. You're the hero in the story. What would you do to make sure that your neighbors are safe? because a lot of us right now need safety, and it's not safe for us to go out there until there are more of you out there showing us that it's safe to come into that friendship, because we don't know who our friends are. We know who our bullies are, but all of our friends have stayed silent for this last decade of the Trump, regime, and they have not been vocal enough for us when it was way safer for them to do so. And again, we were the solo artist out there and we needed a choir, and the choir never came. So now we need the choir to come sing the song that we've already taught them so that we know it's safe for us to come back out and help. The leaders that are left need the hands, because a lot of us had to flee for our lives, so we're not there to volunteer anymore. We need you to step into our shoes in the communities that you live in and be the change that everyone, I know me included, is so desperate to see. Like, it's us. That's it. No one is coming.
It's
Us.
This is
It's always been us.
there
Everyone's
is
always shit on the
Golden City.
millennials. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I love Gen X, but I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial. You guys were latchkey kids. You fended for yourselves, but you forgot to look out for us. And you let us get raped by the Epstein class, because that was the millennial generation that got raped. And I'm just going to say that to my cousins that are a little bit older than me that maybe need a little bit of fire under their ass, because a lot of us millennials have already been run out of the country. And those of us that are left fighting are getting punched at by corporate Dems, being told to shut the fuck up and to quit ruining things. Meanwhile, we're the only ones standing in the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're the safeguard. The DSA is the safeguard. The Working Families Party is the safeguard right now. It's not anyone else. It's your local Planned Parenthoods. It's whoever DSA, whoever their local leadership has been helping their volunteer organizations. This is who we need to go in and help right now, because this is the moment that we're in collectively as a nation. You can find your local DSA chapter. Just Google DSA, put in your zip code. I'm not saying you have to join them. I'm saying that's what I would do if I still had the privilege of being in the States to help. But I'm not there anymore. I'm sorry. You guys let me get run out. Not you three personally.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Understood.
to the collective you that decided to yell about pronouns in a bio and told us to take it out, instead of recognizing that we put it in there to let people know that they were safe around us. It's a signal of safety.
And I think we're in a space that we can no longer afford to make assumptions about anything anymore. We need to just be open and be able just to listen.
Yeah.
Without judgment,
Without judgment, without the purity tests, the lectures. Now is not the time. We don't have time for righteousness or.
But the thing is, it's okay. And it's okay if people need to get that off their chest. It's okay. I really do think that sometimes we need to look at who is trying to give us the message we need to hear, right? And some of us, especially indigenous folks, especially trans folk, that have been living in this hellscape since the moment that we took the first breath of life that we didn't ask for. We're just fucking here, right? And we've been trying to tell folks that this place has always been shit, and we need to come together as a neighborhood, as neighbors, right? I don't gotta like you, but you're my fucking neighbor. I'm gonna make sure you're all right.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't need to be friends with every fucking neighbor, but I need to know that if my house is on fire or someone sees smoke coming, they'll knock on my door so I could put a small fire out before I lose my home. I need to know that. And in the US, at least by the time that I left, I maybe knew 2 of my fucking neighbors. I lived in a garden complex. I should have known everyone, right? Because the second you see smoke coming out of someone's window, you would hope someone would knock on your door, or else we're all fucked. But we're all so siloed. We need to get out of it, and I think get offline, because to bring it back to maybe my ill-put comparison, we're fighting with. I understand that there can be discourse amongst friends that needs to be context needs to be given, and you know, we need to look at things clearly, but I also think that for those of us who maybe are just on this online platform, in comment sections, trying to learn from professors that have been doing this for decades, right? Trying to learn from nurses and doctors. I don't really care so much to hear from, uh, you know, folks that don't have the lived experience of having been marginalized and working in a system and whistle blew and like folks that like fully understand what is happening. I love to like hear that experience. Folks that have been doing this work for decades, I love to like hear that experience. But I also think that like we shouldn't worry about what's going on in comment sections, and we should let authors of work defend themselves and provide their own education so that maybe we can learn something we didn't know before. Because as a nurse, I can say that I don't know every single patient that comes into the room. I have no idea what's wrong with them until I ask them what's going on. And it's
Yeah.
not fair for me to assume that you're coming in because you have a bellyache if you're coming in because there's a splinter in your toe. I have to ask you what's going on, right? So again, that's that whole collective take a deep breath, realize, is what I'm intending to do actually providing the impact I want it to have? If I want to affect positive change, am I doing it or am I just yelling into the void online? And is it just making me more upset? Or did I build something or am I working with a local community to help them grow? And again, also as like a breath for us as a collective, people that are usually in the comment sections of folks that have been doing work for decades. Because like before video came to Substack, like this was a writer's platform. There are people that have been here doing the work for decades. That like, if they're raising flags, right? Like maybe like it's time for us to use some critical thinking and discernment and do our own reading. And maybe as a people be like, holy shit, I really am wasting all my time trying to watch all these lives all the time to figure out what the fuck is going on, that I'm not doing anything about it.
Right.
When what would really make me feel happy is if I figured out how I can do something about it in whatever way I can. So is that like going to my town's like health services and being like, hey, do you guys need volunteers? Like, is there a local pantry? Can I help set one up if there isn't?
Yeah. Or
And
even
like
just like a simple
finding the
barter system.
people. Yeah.
If you go up to your neighbor, if you have like, I had like the other day, I had this massive ass stack of reusable plastic shopping bags that I had no idea what to use for, and they were just taking up space. Like, well, I'm cleaning out my apartment anyway. I went down the hall, knocked on my neighbor's door. I was like, hey, ma'am, listen, I have all these bags. Do you need spare bags? I know you're doing like bottle deposits and stuff like that for some of your friends. Like, yeah, there's enough. And now we got a barter system.
Amen.
I get paid Neil, and I give him anything I need. It's something simple. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be a 15-page manifesto to take over the world. It could just be something simple, little things like that.
It's showing up wherever we are, however we can, right? It's just showing up, and also being willing to let people know that we need help. It's I was just having a really nice conversation with my mom earlier, and it was about how we were talking about how closed mouths don't get fed, and not so much in a victim blaming mentality, because we were both talking about the fact that if we had spoken to each other more, if we had opened our mouths more to each other, I wouldn't have suffered as much abuse as I did growing up, because I would have let her in on it, right?
Yeah.
And she would have been able to, push to get us to safety sooner, where she thought she was going through the abuse alone, and she thought that the best way out and to end the abuse was for her to choose to get out, which is what she taught me inadvertently, right? Because when a kid sees that, like, that's what your mom thinks is her only way out, like she's either stuck or she's dead, then like as a kid who's trans and like trying to figure shit out, a recovering Catholic now, like very much like, you know, growing up in that cultish hellscape.
Mm-hmm.
What would I learn if not, well, the best way through is out, because that's what mom taught me. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had these conversations with her, and I've been vulnerable enough to talk to mom and let
Mm-hmm.
her know, hey, to the point where right before we got on this call, my mom was able to admit, I didn't raise you right. You weren't raised right. You're right. I did not raise you right. And that was really healing. I
Yeah.
think this is the most at peace I've felt in 36 years.
Yeah.
Just
Taking
the simple
accountability.
acknowledgement there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that whole, sometimes we have to be able to open our mouths and be vocal enough about the injustices that we are personally seeing in our day-to-day lives,
Mm-hmm.
but also recognizing that in this same conversation I had with my mom, I also told her, and I recognize that you were the victim of financial, emotional, sexual, psychological, religious abuse and
Well,
violence.
and it comes down
And
to
you didn't
generational
have a way out.
trauma.
So, like, it's a healing. We both need to have that conversation to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you were the adult, you should have helped me out of it, but now I'm an adult and I can recognize that you also got fucked, and now
Mm-hmm.
I can show you the true unconditional forgiveness that a child can give their parent. I'm not
Sure.
saying everyone needs to do this, because not every parent needs it. My dad can fucking burn in hell. I don't know where the
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker is. I don't want to know
Mm-hmm.
where he is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
again, that healthy boundary of knowing who was the abuser and who are the victims.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't keep yelling at other victims because they're not being the right kind of victim.
Yeah.
We're
Mm-hmm.
all fucking victims at this point. We're all being
Mm-hmm.
abused. We're all being traumatized. We're all suffering a giant moral injury because our fucking tax dollars, instead of supplying healthcare to our neighbors, are
It's,
killing people all over
yeah.
the fucking world in one way or another.
Yeah.
All over the world. Globally, we are a fucking
Mm-hmm.
pariah. And
Yeah.
it is a giant moral injury, because I didn't ask to be born American, and I'm not proud to be born American. It's where I was fucking born. I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud to be a good person,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to help my neighbor. And like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, enough of this fucking nationalistic pride bullshit. Be a good
Yeah.
person wherever you
Yeah.
are on
Yeah.
It
earth.
doesn't have to be
Be a good
perfect. It
fucking
doesn't have
person,
to
please.
just be like,
We're all doing
leave the
enough.
thing. You can acknowledge something as a total shit show, but before you go, leave it better than how you found it.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
have been in this 3 year long administrative overthrow operation with the second college, mind you, I've had to do this with. And I finally have another meeting with the dean at the end of the month after the whole fiasco came and went. And it turns out that, well, despite some people lost their jobs because they refused to just double down on it, and other people stayed because I realized that even the most well-intended, well-forward, we are progressive, we are inclusive, we have an inclusive society.
it's all a lie. Yeah,
It's
no, it's all a lie.
it
So
carries the same exact weight of, like, if the washing machine door must closeth, the machine must washeth. Essentially, you could technically
yeah,
put 14 blankets, the whole 9 yards, 2 children and a dog in the machine. It doesn't mean it's going to work. You can't just snap your fingers and say you have an inclusive community while actively ignoring serious bullying, serious abuses, serious
yeah.
amounts of harm being contributed and caused by members in that community. And I think this is why, like, leadership is so important, because leadership skills on their own is the skill set you can use to harness power. I think this is a lot of the patent conflict we're having now is, well, we need someone to be in power and utilize and make these
I
changes,
don't
but
think,
yeah,
well, Tig, I'd like to push back on that, because I don't think we need someone in power, and I don't think we need a
exactly.
leader. I don't think we need a white knight. I think we're
We don't.
all adults, and I think we all make our own choices every single day, and we can choose to go into the communities that are already doing the work and providing inclusive spaces. And I'm not saying you're going to get paid for the work, and I'm not saying that money matters anymore at this point,
Precisely.
right? I think that we need to like fucking forget about your fucking job, forget about whatever plug, forget about sponsorships, forget about whatever making video. Like, I like this. I love coming on Mindhaven, really to talk to y'all, and I like to think of it as like a fireside chat, right?
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to change the world. I'm sharing my fireside story, my lived experience as a nurse who has treated all walks of life, all socioeconomic classes, race, creed, gender, religion. It doesn't fucking matter, right? Because I love people. And when I see someone who is sick and hurting, I want to help them get better ethically, the way they need the help, not the way I think they need to be helped. It's
Mhm.
individual to how they need help. It's holistic,
Yep.
right? It's trying to help them reach their personal homeostasis, not whatever I think homeostasis is,
Or
right?
should
Yeah.
be.
So I think that we all need to, just don't worry so much about the bullshit you see online. Unplug a little bit.
Mhm.
Find your local DSA, find your local Working Families Party, find your local Planned Parenthood, find your local LGBTQIA plus center, find your local Indigenous community center, find your local centers that have already been providing to marginalized communities, find your local disability advocacy centers. There are these places that already exist that are trying their best to help the marginalized community navigate the bureaucracy that exists until we can get proper leadership in place. But these places that exist need the volunteers now because
Mhm.
there's not enough people who can. I can't executively function and do like paperwork and just like filling out forms and shit. I can, if you give me the forms, I can fill them out. But finding the forms to fill out is hard for me.
Yeah.
My husband helps me find the forms I need to fill out
Mhm.
so that I can be the best nurse that I can be because my brain can only hold enough knowledge of how to sustain life and how to help transition humanity throughout the lifespan, right? From cradle to grave, that's the nursing I love to do, right? I
Yeah.
like to make sure people are comfy when they're born and people are comfy when they die, right? And
Yeah.
everywhere else in between. That's why I became a nurse. But
Mhm.
I need help in order to do my job because to be a nurse, I can't also be a custodian and be administration and be the kitchen and be the wait staff. Like I can't do it all. So that's what like when I was a nurse and I would have new nurses coming on, I made sure to teach them the most valuable lesson I think I could ever teach any other person. And that was to greet our environmental service workers every morning, to learn their names, to build a rapport. Because without environmental services, I can't do my job with overflowing trash bins. I
Mhm.
can't do my job if things are cluttered and I don't know where to find them.
Yeah.
Especially because I think most folks that end up becoming nurses have to be on the spectrum in some way because they're so like it's such a special interest to really love anatomy and physiology so much that like you can list me symptoms. I know exactly what's wrong with you, exactly what medicine you need, exactly what exercises you need to do. Boom, right there. And you'll be feeling better in like 2 days. So I
Mhm.
have
And
all
have
that
the
knowledge in
assertive
my brain.
repeated. Yeah.
Yeah, right. To
And
like
have the
make you
assertive
hopefully
keep the
make you
doctor keep
feel
telling you.
good, hopefully make you feel like your spirit got a hug, right? Because to
Mhm.
be a good nurse is to like be holistic. It's not just the disease process. I want to know like, all right, how are things at home? Do you have access to clean water? Like, is there violence at home? How can I get you to a place that's safe? And most of it, I'll tell you what, little known secret, I wasn't fucking referring people to like government like shelters and shit. I was referring them to my local shelters that I knew because it was places I volunteered in my 20s
Mhm.
and in my teens. So I knew that they were safe places to send my people that were suffering
Yeah.
because anyone who's suffering is my person because I suffered. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how, like, we don't have to have the same suffering, right? This isn't
Mhm.
a popularity, this isn't a contest.
Right.
We're not winning the like disability awards or like the queer award. Like there's no trauma award going out. Like trauma is trauma and it fucking sucks. And
Mhm.
we should all do better to call it out
Mhm.
and also to like you know, if maybe our friends are being titty babies sometimes, we got to be like, yo, quit being a titty baby and like come help me do this thing.
Sure.
And like, you know, like, hey, like I realize like you're being frustrated. Go ahead, Neuro. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it just reminds me of something I heard a few years back when people were talking about trauma and like the severity of trauma, you know, one might go through compared to another, and that how that comparison is really unhealthy because when you look at the whole picture, 6 feet of water, 12 feet of water, you drown just the same. And that water concept isn't mine. That was part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, that is so true. Like it doesn't really matter that someone suffered more; you're still suffering.
And it keeps us stuck in this like in this freeze and fawn state, right? So like when we're being traumatized, we're in fight or flight always. And currently, at all moments, if you live in the US, you are in a state of fight or flight because you do not have access to universal health care. And you know, you say one wrong thing, you'll get fired, you can't get your meds, you're dead, right? So like that's where a lot of us are right now. And it's in that fight or flight, it like you can only stay in it so long before you slip into freeze and fawn, which is why those around us are frozen because they're not the ones getting abused. And a lot of us getting abused have to fawn so that we don't get killed. Right. So the more we isolate, the more we stay in that. It's a maladaptive survival mechanism. Fight or flight works, it's good. Freeze and fawn is maladaptive. It's not going to make things better. We can't stay frozen and we can't just play nice. We have to get back into the fight or flight because the opposite of fight or flight is rest and digest. There's no room for that right now. The way we can find rest and digest is by choosing what we need to do, right? I needed to flee. My life had already, I had already been assaulted twice within the first 10 months of this second administration, attemptedly, almost kidnapped a couple times, right?
Yeah.
And fired because of all these ordeals happening, right? Because of the systemic abuse that I personally was facing, but being told as the nurse to shut the fuck up and get back to helping the ones that are even sicker than you are, right? So I had to flee. This is where we are right now. This is how far we let it go. So we need to choose. It's either we make our plans and we get ourselves safe if we need to, or we have to fight. And we fight by figuring out where our local safe organizations are that are trying to do the work and providing the hand power, the physical human power behind it, right? And show up and help our neighbors. And that'll help us feel better so that we can eventually get into the rest and digest. But right now, I'm sorry, folks, there is no time for rest and digest. Not unless we are also doing the fighting or organizing our flight, right? We need to be very clear-eyed right now. And online discourse isn't going to get us out of it. These conversations are like great to have, and again, like a fireside chat, but it's more impactful if we have these conversations. And I do have these fireside chats with everyone I meet. No, I don't care who they are. No disclaimers are needed. I present myself authentically. This is who I am at all times. I love when people check me, when there's room for me to grow. But I also love when people recognize that I am an elder. I am, someone who has lived experience both in all genders, amongst all sexualities. I've floated. I'm an enigma. I can walk into a room and people think I'm just a white dude, right? I can walk into a room and I'm speaking French. I can walk into a room, I'm speaking in fluent Spanish, fluent Portuguese. I walk into a room, I'm singing a song in a language no one has ever heard because I just invented it, right? I am me. And more of us just need to be us outside amongst others. But what we need is for folks who are in no real danger right now because of perceived threats or an imagine maybe this might happen to me is not enough of an excuse to stay home when we need you guys to go out right now and to show us that there's safety in numbers, because right now we're outnumbered, because in DC y'all saw that Klan march and visibly we are outnumbered because they feel safe to do that because they have safety in numbers, but we don't know who our friends are because y'all aren't showing up to volunteer at Planned Parenthood or our local queer center, so we don't fucking know who you are and we don't trust you from hell or high water.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I was just thinking
Yeah.
about the attendance for the like 4th of July thing on the. It was.
Oh, yeah.
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 And again, this is also like a friendly reminder to everyone that like we don't know what everyone's doing on their private time. So maybe like if we see folks are trying their best to do something and maybe getting caught up in some bullshit, let's look out for our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And also just not perpetuate more gaslighting that is just so exhausting at this point to every trans person or any immigrant child or like any fucking AFAB person, because like goddamn, to be AFAB in America, good lord, you don't need to be trans to understand that. Even our cis sisters understand that it's fucking horrible being assigned female at birth in the US. Like there is a whole separate set of laws that keep a fucking boot on your neck. And like, yeah, sometimes some of us when we say things, it's a little spicy, but that's because, you know, we've been struggling to breathe for our whole fucking life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's worth listening to the roar and sitting with it a little bit, especially when maybe this is the first time in your life that folks haven't been able to assimilate and like being white was enough.
Yeah.
When now like being white's not enough. You have to be the right kind of white. You have to be the fascist kind of white. So now it's open season for everyone, where it's always been open season for us. And we're just kind of like, ugh, please don't tell us not to swear or get mad at people, because we're going to get mad because we need to. And maybe just like listen to the overarching message and like, you know, room to grow is always a very fun space to be in. I always love a bit of room to grow. And also just knowing when losses need to be cut. And we have to see how like we feel in our body when we're around people, and that's how we know we're safe. And if we feel good in our body around people, then we stay there, and if we don't, then we move on.
Absolutely.
And that's the only way we're going to get out of this, because we have to find our people within our neighborhoods, like physically, because like there's going to come a time where like we're going to be in desperate need for some clean water, and only one of us is going to have a water filter. So we need to know who that is, and we need to share.
Yeah.
And this is also the time for new ideas. Like I think, I mean, you're right, because not only we are outnumbered, we are also outgunned and outmanned in multiple ways than one. I think in the organizing and the manpower is great, but we also need a lot of new people with new ideas that know their way around tech, that know their way around building things, that know how to either build things the old-fashioned way or build things a new way.
They're there already, Tig. I'm telling you, they're there already. We need the help. We need the hammers. We need hands on hammers. That's what we need. They're already there. They're already there. We don't need more people. They're there. We need those people to like go into the there and talk to them in the there and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? Because I've been sitting on my computer yelling about shit. And so you guys have been actually building the homes? Cool. Can I help you figure out a way to do it more effectively? And if they're like, no, right now we just need hands on hammers, then you just be like, cool, here's my hands on hammers. Like, because that's where we're at right now. Like,
Yeah.
the concentration camps are already built. We don't need people to figure out how to get around them.
Yeah. No, we need people to help
You know what I mean?
tunnels
You know what I
and get
mean?
them out of
Like,
them.
it's a little too late. You know what I mean? Like, right now, we need like the people like helping the folks that are outside of Delaney Hall and making sure that they always have like clean water and food available, because they're the ones actually trying to close down the concentration camp, even though the New Jersey State Police is trampling them with horses. So the cops aren't going to help us. So we have to help us. So that's what I'm saying. You know,
Jack.
that's yeah.
Jack, so Naida had a comment. Jack, you had the ability to lead. Not all of us can due to the disability.
Correct, Naida. And I acknowledge my privilege. I'm very privileged that I was able to. And that's why I'm asking on my able-bodied, cis, white friends who can to get off their couch, so that those of us that the best we can do is provide education, because we are not able-bodied and we are not privileged enough to have safety in this moment.
Also go ask
you know,
friends too.
That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for my marginalized friends and neighbors who are still there. Right?
Yeah.
Fighting looks different. Some fight looks like finding your safety. Fight doesn't mean always going and standing in front of Delaney Hall in front of guns. Fighting means telling the people you love, I'm really scared right now. I need help. I can't make rent. I need help. I don't have access to my medicine. I need help.
Right.
That is some people's fight. My fight was telling my family that I was either going to kill myself or I needed to leave the country.
Yep.
So thank you for helping highlight that, because I do want to be clear. I'm not telling everyone that you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we cannot stay in a free state and do nothing, or in a fawn state and try and appease the people harming us.
Yeah.
There are many ways to fight the good fight, do the work, and contribute to society. I think everyone has a skill, Everyone has either they have hands that can be held, a voice that can be spoken, or a skill that can be implemented. And I think that's all matters.
Yeah. I knew I was good with blood and guts, so I went to nursing school and I became a nurse so that I could help you guys. But unfortunately, not enough of the, 99% of my neighbors who are not trans over this past decade, they let me be the scapegoat. So I'm trans, I'm disabled, I'm ESL, right? I'm a first generation American. I'm a recovering cult survivor, right? I am all of these things. And I am also privileged because I was able to get out, because I fought my way out. I did not continue to fawn and live within the system that was torturing me.
Sure.
Are you comfortable with naming the cult that you got out of?
Oh, sure, the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Yeah, very honest. They're a cult. Are you kidding me?
And shit.
Yeah, with the
Oh my
patriarchy
God.
and the for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
The United States Catholic Church is just, the woke Pope is great right now. Like, hopefully he'll be able to like fucking course correct on most of us that have been like, but also it's a fucking fairy tale, and like it's
There's
great to
also
like have
talks of
religion.
schism.
Say that again?
Another schism, like the Catholic American schism, like the Catholic, like American Catholics.
Well, that's
are
the thing.
threatening schism with the woke Pope now, because
Well,
that is where we are right now.
But that's, to be fair, and if I could just interject, Tig, as someone who does still speak to the Catholics in my life, they don't share the sentiment, and the schism comes from the Gen X men, the Gen X white boys in the Catholic Church, and the millennial white boys in the church that care about making money in tech and all this shit. And it's an evangelical takeover, and it's all just to like, that's why they like JD Vance. That's why JD Vance is pretending to be Catholic. I can pretend to be a moose. I'm not, right? But like, because that's not religion is a choice. Right?
Yeah.
Religion is a choice.
And depending on who's on the pedestal, it could be a very effective weapon. and that's
Yeah.
basically how they're using it.
Yeah, and like anyone can say they're any religion at any given time. I just said I was a recovering Catholic, right?
Yeah.
And that's my lived experience. It's true to me, but like, where the fuck do you know me from, right?
Yeah. Right.
If it like, hopefully by now, like, y'all have invited me on a couple times, and you realize that like this is just me, because like
Mhm.
I have too much ADHD to be anyone else.
Yeah. We love you, Jack.
Yeah,
Jack's awesome. Jack's the
but
best.
like there are some, there are Slytherins in the world that will pretend
Mhm.
to be what they need to be in order to
Mhm.
get what they want to get. And
Yeah.
that's called narcissism. And
Mhm.
that is
Gaslighting.
disordered thinking. And that is
Yep.
something that needs treatment and not something that should be applauded by, being elected into office
Mhm.
or being given the position as CEO. Like, we don't need narcissists in the
Mm-mm.
C-suite.
Mhm.
Like, we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know when we like stop, like when we as a society became okay with just living amongst sociopaths and like
Right.
rewarding them for their psychopathy.
It's
Yeah.
not even just the
That's
reward. I was working on a piece with this recently that I think well, power of any kind. What is the definition of power? Essentially, it is the ability or proximity to affect, influence, or amplify the consequences of one's decisions and choices. So those with a lot of power have a lot of reach with the consequences of their actions, regardless of whether it's harmful or otherwise. And I think that I saw whether it's power is not automatically corruptible, but I think there's some people who are more susceptible to being corruptible to power than others. Similar to alcohol in that regard. You have happy drunks, sad
I think
drunks,
it's
angry drunks.
if I could say something, I think it's our relationship to power.
Yeah.
I think we do have to like pull back a little bit and be a little bit more holistic with how we view power and realize that power is individual, right?
Yeah.
It's self-determined. We decide what we do with our power. We
Mm-hmm.
decide if we want to give our power up to someone else and then wash our hands of it. And then we decide, we can bitch and moan, or we choose to harness our individual power and realize that the actions that we take every day, however we take them, right, affect change, whether it's positive or negative, right?
Exactly.
And positive and negative for ourselves personally too, because like I know days that like when the depression monster is real bad and the CPTSD is like really really bad, and like I don't want to get out of bed and it's the fucking worst. Like I know that like I fought enough for myself to let
Mhm.
my husband know, like, hey, if you notice me kind of bed rotting, can you like just invite me to go take a little walk with you and like not make a big deal out of it, but just like those little things?
Sure.
Because I know that I need to breathe fresh air and to feel the sun on my skin, because those are true health benefits. And this isn't a don't go to your doctor, please go visit your doctor. But also when you're depressed, please get fresh air and move your
Yeah.
body,
Yeah.
because you need to move your body. It will help. Moving your body
Reconnect.
helps move the mud out of your mind. Like,
Yep.
just please. And like, it's also okay to lean on the people you love and let them know, like, hey, my disability tells me that when I feel bad, to become a hermit. And
Sure.
I know I need to do something else and I need help to do that other thing.
Yep.
And it's being authentic to yourself. And only once you're honest with yourself, with everything that you need and how you need to show up in the world and the help that you need so that you can show up,
Mhm.
right? You can
Yeah.
like start feeling better. But like, we got to talk to the people that like are like within reach, that can actually provide the, like, my husband can actually help me go for a walk, right? I
Mhm.
I let my friends know that I have like really really bad CPTSD, and if they
Mhm.
don't hear from me from a couple weeks, to please reach out, because it's not that I'm not thinking about them. I just feel so worthless that I don't feel like it's worth doing anything at that time.
Right.
And
Hey,
that's how
Jack.
I'm feeling about me. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
know it's the closeout. So
yeah, it's closing out, and we like to do this thing where, well, first of all, go ahead and sell yourself.
I am a person who is here on this platform. If anyone wants to have a conversation with me, feel free to shoot me a message. Um, You watch my videos, find out a little bit more about me. I don't sell anything. I just ask everyone to please try and be a better human and to show up
Mhm.
for themselves, first of all, so that they can show up for their neighbors.
Yeah.
And so, like, do what you need to do to keep you safe and to keep your sanity in this moment. And
Mhm.
please keep your neighbor sane and don't contribute to the insanity going on,
Right.
because
And then
we're going through
yeah,
it.
yeah. And then so we like to do this new thing when we close out. We like to carve out a moment of joy, like something that brought you joy in the last week, few days, or whatever. So if you can think of something, Jack, go ahead and share that with us.
Oh, you know what? I am always feeling very joyful and privileged. It's bittersweet that I was able to find it to safety. And right now I've been working on this for my husband. I'm making a blanket.
Oh,
So
that's
this brings me
beautiful.
joy.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love the
These are
colors.
these are little things I do in the ways that I can. Right now my mental health only allows me to kind of do arts and crafts, but at least I can keep people warm while I'm doing it.
Sure.
And I give away the blankets afterwards. There's no fee. It's just acts
Yeah.
of love and to try and
Love it.
I
do
love
better.
it.
Love it.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Tig?
My friend, my contact out in Florida, he's a business partner of mine. He gave me a great price for an awesome Flash Forge 5 Adventure 3D printer.
Nice.
And it's arriving on Wednesday. And I am so excited because I have been specking this hydroponic garden idea for months now. And there is an organization called Groundwork. Like I'm in the Yonkers area, in the downtown New York area. And there's an organization called Groundwork that focuses on like Hudson River, horticulture, all that wonderful stuff. And they like, do events like right like 3 minutes away from me. And it's fun stuff because I got my thing here, but I'm also like trying to invent like a new modular water filtration slash with desalinization device that is not only self-sustaining but also like no additional fossil fuels required at all. I think I might have actually broken the laws of thermodynamics in doing it, but hooray for hooray for physics.
Yeah,
Yay.
do it up,
Love
Tig.
that.
We need more of those brains around. We're gonna need
Yep.
more. We need that brain.
What
We
about you,
need more
Nero?
diversity in STEM. I love to see
Yes.
Really quick. So that leaf right there, that's from a baby hibiscus, hardy hibiscus. So when I first got my place back in spring of 2023, there was an adult hibiscus, and it was really tall, and it attracted all kinds of bees and hummingbirds and stuff. And then by the following summer, it had died.
Mm.
And those roses that it's growing up through are diseased. I didn't show you any of the roses because they're not there. I pruned the heck out of it.
Mhm.
But anyways, I discovered that there was a hardy hibiscus growing up through there. It made me really happy.
Oh yeah.
See that leaf patterns on that rose? It has a virus that is never going to go away,
Right.
and it does inhibit its ability to feed itself through the leaves. Because the
Photosynthesis.
so,
Yeah.
the rose isn't necessarily going to die like this year or next year or whatnot, but it does shorten its life. And I'm like, there's a hibiscus growing right up through it. And I was so heartbroken when the older one died.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to spot this. It
Right.
made my whole day today.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I grow gardens, so I know how much joy you see like a new fruit coming on, and you're like, yes, like I did something right.
Life finds a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
There's
what,
a-
gardening is super healing. I highly
Yeah, it
encourage
is.
folks to
It really is.
at least get a succulent, at least
Yeah.
one succulent that's super easy to take care of.
Yep.
So
Yep.
at least have a little bit of green in your life.
Hi,
Spider
Stacy.
plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like,
little bit of green, little bit of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk to
Okay.
them, please. Talk to your
Yeah.
plants.
Oh yeah.
It'll
Talk
help
to
you.
them. Play music.
It'll help you process the bullshit that we're living through. We need to talk to
Yeah.
our plants. We need to talk to our animals, because there is some shit we don't want to say to other human beings because we know we sound insane. So
Right.
please just tell your pets and tell your plants, so
Oh,
that we stop
absolutely.
fucking lashing out at one another.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot
or-
of times.
or-
There are a lot of
yeah.
times I want to curse people out, but instead I tell my dog about it, and then afterwards I'm like, "Nah, you were kind of being a jerk too." So
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I never leave the house with a little analog audio recorder. So anytime I'm just like out like vocally stimming on the street, like, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to myself, but I'm just practicing for a presentation. People don't mind you talking to yourself like a crazy person if you're just doing that. You're just
You tell hey, Tig, you're practicing lines. That's it. I grew
I'm
up
just
right
practicing
outside of New
lines.
York City. I've always been a part of a choir, right? When I'm like doing my little vocal stems and singing my songs. And, I mean, half the time it is something off like the Lion King soundtrack, but
Mhm.
Yeah, because of course,
yeah,
obviously, freaking masterpiece
yeah,
that is.
yeah, of course. So, I just lean in now. I don't even give a shit. I'd be like, yeah, I know how to sing. How about you? I'm like, that's it. You know?
Okay, and this is my little piece of joy. Due to my physical disability and mental disability, I've been paddleboarding for like over 15 years. And it came down to I wasn't able to physically do it. And mentally, I was depressed. So I wasn't able to get up and go do the things that I love to do. So I've been getting back into it. This is the second time I've gone this summer. This was the day before July 4th. Went up to a little reservoir about 30 miles away and just enjoyed the day on the water with my neighbor. So my paddleboard's the red and yellow, and then my neighbor's is the blue one. But yeah, it was just such a beautiful day. Get out and get some sunshine, vitamin D, and enjoy the people that were with me.
Yeah. Sushi, how was that board for? I want a paddleboard, but I have really bad joints, like really loose
Yeah,
hips. I don't feel safe with my disability.
yeah,
Um, I haven't tried a regular paddleboard just because I don't feel like
yeah.
it would be safe.
So
Like I
these,
kayak, but
yeah, these are inflatable, which are a lot more forgiving and have way better balance than the hard boards. And
like the
the
wider
beauty of
one a
the
bit easier.
Yeah, so that one's a little bit wider. And also, if you feel unstable on them, you can just sit down and paddle. Like it's a deck,
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
at any rate, we are 7 minutes over time. Want to thank everyone in the chat for being here this evening, and I want to thank Jack for joining us again. Wonderful conversations. So we do, after we end the live stream, we do sit backstage for a minute and debrief. So we can just do that here shortly. Just want to put out the hearts to everyone. Yep.
Hearts for all.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, solid crowd this time around. 27 views.
Yeah.
Whee!
Happy you
doing
all
good.
made it. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Okay. We'll see y'all later. See you next
Thank
Sunday.
you.
Bye.